Noma, N-O-R-M-A, Leslie, L-E-S-L-E-Y, and surname H-O-L-M-E-S, Holmes.
Holmes. Very nice meeting you. And what is I have to ask this question, what is your birthday?
My birthday is the 17th of July, 1931.
Wow, 1931. So now you are, how old are you?
87, coming
87.
on 88.
I have to say this, you look like a 57.
Oh, thank you.
Am I good enough?
Yes, you'll pass. You've won me.
Where were you born?
I was born in Thornbury, Victoria.
Could you spell it?
Thornbury.
Thornview.
Thornbury, B-U-R-Y.
B-U-I-Y.
R-Y.
R-Y. Okay, Thornbury, yeah. And
Yes.
then it's a Victoria.
It's a suburb of Melbourne.
Suburb of Melbourne.
Yes.
I was just right there. You know, I went to the 12 Apostles, you know, the Great Ocean
Yes,
Road.
on the Ocean Road.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful views.
So tell me about your whole family when you were growing up.
Well, I was the eldest of 3 children. My father, who went for his call up to the Second World War, was found he had cancer and he died at 38. And so we were a family brought up by my mother and with a 5-month-old baby as my youngest brother, who died early last year.
Sorry to hear that. What was your parents doing at the time?
My father was a jeweller,
Jeweler.
and my mother was home duties,
Uh-huh.
and he was aged 38.
Wow. So your family has been rich.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. And tell me about the school you went through.
Well, I went to the Thornbury State School and got to the 6th grade and part of 7th before I had to go out to work at 13 so that my mother and 2 brothers could survive.
All right. So did you learn anything about Korea before?
No, not much.
From the school?
No,
Never?
no,
Oh, they didn't teach about my great country?
no.
Oh my
I had
goodness.
to wait till I had a husband to tell me about it.
Oh, that's why you are here, right? So you
Yes.
are not Korean War veteran?
No,
No.
I was married to 2 Korean veterans.
2 Korean veterans.
Yes.
So you didn't learn anything about Korea before in your school. Did you know where Korea was when you were in the school?
Not really that much, no.
Not at all.
No.
So now you've been married to 2 Korean War veterans, not 1, but 2.
2, yes.
How do you explain this? You didn't know anything about Korea, but you've been married to 2 Korean War veterans.
Well, I met a soldier that had just come back from the Korean conflict,
Uh-huh.
and
Did you say Korean conflict?
I said Korean conflict.
Was a Korean
they-
war?
Yes, but they only termed it as a conflict at first. It's only been really since the Vietnam War that they have remembered there was one in Korea and it was truly a war.
Wow.
By the stories I heard from my first husband,
Yeah?
and he was difficult in the fact that he was very much into himself, didn't talk much about things, and had lots of fallacy health problems in his mind.
So let's talk about those. When did you marry the first husband and what was his name?
Neville Exon Hubbard.
Could you spell it?
Neville, Neville, Exon, Exon, Hubbard, Hubbard,
I.
Hubbard.
IRD. So Neville, Naville.
Yes.
Yeah. When did you marry him?
In 1953,
What month?
November
What day?
14th.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
You never forget.
No.
Explain us. How did you know him before?
No. I only met him after he came back from the war.
So tell me details. When did you meet him? What day? And how did you meet him? And what's been done? Tell me.
Well, I was at church and he came to the same Salvation Army church and joined in with the youth of that church, including me, and eventually we became engaged in June 1953 and married in November 1953.
When did he come back? When did he come back?
He came back from Korea in 1953.
What month?
Oh, earlier in the year, I'm not sure.
Uh-huh. And you married him in 1953?
Yes.
June?
No,
November.
engaged.
Engaged.
Yeah, married November 1953.
Why did you marry him? Tell me, please. Be honest. Was he
A
handsome
tall
man?
Yes, a tall, strong, appeared to me to be very brave and courageous because he'd been to the war and I was looking for someone to love me and he said he did.
Oh. You hadn't had any boyfriend at the time?
Oh, I'd had other boyfriends, don't
You had a
worry
lot?
about that. Yeah, 2 or 3 before
My goodness. You're a bad girl.
I am.
But you chose him.
Now I work as a chaplain at the RSL at Runaway Bay and I've got plenty of boyfriends.
But you chose him because he was a veteran, right?
Oh, well, to a certain extent, yes.
So what happened
I had
after you married
affection
him?
for him. Everything was fine. Everything seemed perfect until our daughter was badly burnt.
Burned?
Burnt. At
Whoa.
18 months old, she went up in flames.
What happened?
A primus stove exploded when her father was looking after her. And I believe that set him off to continually want to be laying in bed and something wrong with him.
Ah.
He had imaginary metal in his head. He was told me he could be, the metal could hit a nerve that would send him blind, stupid, or kill him.
Yeah.
And for 32 years, I believed that was so, and cared for him and looked after him, and then found out it was fallacy.
I am so
And
sorry.
in between that, we had a daughter that died of leukemia. So it was a pretty traumatic time for me.
Yeah. Must have been so hard for you.
Yes.
Oh.
So with all that, the marriage ended, and a person I had met through my first husband came up to find me in Brisbane because that's where I was living at the time, and said that he would like to make a life with me, and he eventually became my second husband.
I see. So before we go into your second marriage. Tell me about Neville as a Korean War veteran. What did he say to you about the Korean War?
Not much, only more fun things that had happened with the soldiers. He didn't talk very much about the war at all.
Do you remember anything he said to you about the Korean War and his service?
He said he was a sniper and that he had, of course, met up with like the North Koreans and him
Hand to
as
hand?
close as you are to me.
Wow. And he survived?
Yes, he survived, and but was not looking. He seemed to always be looking for sympathy, and so he had these imaginary medical issues, which brought us. It was because of him that I moved to Brisbane.
I see.
Because he said he had to move to another climate, and that's caused all doubts in my mind since I found out about his medical and mental condition.
Do you remember his unit? Was he Army or?
He was in the regular army, and he was in 3rd Battalion.
3rd Battalion. Yeah.
3 oblique 2570, I think, from memory. That was his army number.
2570?
2570. 3 stroke 2570. He eventually became a TPI.
TPI means?
Totally and permanently incapacitated.
So, do you know when he went to Korea?
1951, I think.
And he came back 1953.
53.
So he was there almost 3 years.
Yeah. 2 to 3 years.
Was he wounded?
No, not really, but he claimed to be.
Came to be. What is that?
He claimed to be.
Claimed to be, okay.
He claimed to be injured.
What did he say?
He had shrapnel in the fluid around the brain, which would kill him, send him insane, or blind him.
Did you notice that? Any symptom?
Well, I lived on edge for 32 years that something was going to happen to him.
Did he have a PTSD? It's like a nightmare and in the dream, you know?
Oh, yes, he had dreams at times.
What did
but he didn't do anything to me.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because some of the veterans who has a severe symptoms of PTSD, they cry, they yell, they throw things, and
second husband, yes. Hands around the throat, yes.
Oh. So you've been married to 2 Korean War veterans, and the life wasn't that easy at all.
No.
Wow. So, did he say anything other than what you said so far about the Korean War?
No, nothing more.
So when you met Neville, did you know anything about Korea?
No.
Did you learn anything about Korea even after that?
Yes, when I was married to him, that it was a lovely country, and I was able to go with my second husband back to Korea. And I've seen your country.
So let's talk about that. So when did you meet your second husband, and what's his name?
Well, my second husband's name was Dennis, Dennis, George, Georg, Holmes, Holmes, And I met him in about, my daughter that was born in 57, I met him when she was about 18 months old. So it'd be
58.
58, 59.
Uh-huh.
I met my second husband because they were both soldiers together. In Korea.
Ah.
And I was introduced to Dennis, by Neville.
So tell me about Dennis. He was in the army? And
Yes, in K-Force.
K-Force?
Yes.
What is that?
He joined up just to go to Korea.
Uh-huh. And he was in the 3rd Battalion too?
No, he was in 1st and 2nd.
1st and 2nd.
Yeah.
And what was his specialty? Just
Infantry.
Infantryman?
And with a stretcher, you know, the
stretcher.
stretcher bearer.
Oh, I see. So medical assistance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What about your first husband? What was his specialty? Rifleman?
Rifleman, yes.
Okay.
Sniper.
Sniper. Oh, okay. That's why he has a lot of images of people being killed, right?
Yes.
Because he is looking at those,
Yes.
And when did he go, Dennis? When did he go to Korea?
In about 52, 53.
Uh-huh. And so they were friends to each other?
Yes, they were friends.
Uh-huh. It's
Yes.
like a movie, We
Yeah,
can
it
make a
is.
movie out of this.
Oh, yes, we can. We can make a lot of money, Doctor.
I'm not sure. I'm not good at making money, but at least I can see the story coming out of
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes. And there's a story connected with my husband that I'd like to tell you about. Now, when he was ambushed with...
Dennis or Neville?
Dennis was ambushed with another guy called Macca, who was carrying an injured man on a stretcher back to the Australian lines.
Yeah.
And they were ambushed, and they'd changed places on the stretcher. My husband changed to being in the front of the stretcher because he was tall, going down the hills of Korea, as you would know what they were like. This was in the Famishon Valley.
What?
Mamishon or some name valley.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Where there was a lot of fighting, and there was the Battle of the Hook.
Oh, I see.
In the Samashon Valley.
Yeah.
In the Battle of the Hook.
Yeah.
And they were carrying this fellow, and the first...
Yes.
His front man that he'd changed places with was shot fatally. And my husband carried him and the wounded man on his shoulders for 3 days until he found where the Australian troops were.
Wow.
Now, in the meantime, as his mate, Francis MacDonald, known as Macca, died in my husband's arms, he had a cross around his neck he was of the Catholic faith, and he asked that my husband, why can I die without a priest? And my husband said, I cannot get a priest to you now, but I will take your cross and get it blessed by the priest. And he did. And the priest said, you keep this cross, Dennis, because it's more value to you than me.
Yeah.
And a couple of years ago, I took the cross back to Bowen. RSL where Macca came from and presented that cross to the RSL in memory of Francis MacDonald.
So that's what Dennis told you?
Well, he told me that is what had happened.
Yes, yes.
And then I was able to relate it to the Bowen RSL and give them the cross for safekeeping.
That's wonderful.
Because Macca came from Bowen.
What else? What else did you hear from him about the Korean War?
Oh, lots of things about the fun they had in Japan when they were on leave, racing up and down the streets, pulling the, the fellas in them that pull them along with, and lots of fun like that. He talked about hand-to-hand conflict a little bit, not a lot, but mainly the fun times that they had. And
so that's the problem. The Korean War veterans, they never talk about this.
No.
Yeah, that's why it's been forgotten.
Well, they were told not to. When they came back by my husband, Dennis, he was told when he came back into the country not to say anything as to where he had been and just say that he'd just been overseas.
Who asked that? Who? Government?
The authorities, the government.
Authorities?
Yes.
Why is that?
I don't know, but I can tell you one story about him. He needed a home to live in when he came back.
Yeah.
And before he left, Robert Menzies, that was the Prime Minister way back in Australia, he said to the boys as they left for Korea, anything I can do for you when you come back, I will. So Den contacted him and he got him a house.
Really?
He did. He said, if this man hasn't got a government house in 24 hours, I, Robert Menzies, will investigate.
What
he
a politician.
Had that in a telegram.
What's his name? The Prime Minister?
The Prime Minister, Robert Menzies.
M-E-N?
Bob Menzies.
M-E-N?
Was his name, wasn't it, Charlie?
Yes.
Yes.
M-E-N?
How would you spell it? M-E-N-Z-I-E?
I think.
Yeah, Menzies.
Yeah.
Wow. He is real faithful politician.
Yes, he is. He's long gone now.
Politician.
But he was a good politician.
Very good. Very wonderful story, huh?
Yeah, it is.
So how was life with him, Dennis, after tragic accidents and so on?
If I could say, the affection and the love was so wonderfully shown to me because I was my first husband wanted to live in the same house as me and my second husband and be looked after by me, the two of them. And we knew that would not work out. And he said to my second husband, I will go into the other bedroom and you can go in with my wife.
Ah.
How did it make me feel? Now, you might not want to put that on record, but that is how devastated and how hurt and how I felt, just like a bit of trash.
You were too, but think about Neville. He was really...
Yes.
Yeah.
Way out with sympathy.
But, so, when did you visit Korea with Dennis? When did you go?
1989.
1989.
Yes, I think.
And tell me about it.
I had a wonderful time.
Tell me details. What did you see? What was it like? And how was it like to be in Korea? Because you were not Korean War veteran, but because you are the wife
of a
twice of the Korean War veteran. Tell me the detail.
Well, we arrived there and I was amazed at the modern country that it was, thinking of the devastation that it had been. You know, it was a new city. We went to the Lotto Hotel that had not long been built, and we went to many places like Kapyong.
Kapyong.
Yes.
Yeah.
And saw the memorials there. Mainly, we were taken around very wonderful, hospitable people, wonderful, treated us like royalty. I felt very important, and I gave one of my paintings to the president or whoever it was of the Korean
So you are the
War.
painter.
Yes.
What kind of painting did you give to the president?
I gave him a painting of an Australian gum tree with a koala up there.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Do you still paint?
Yes.
Ah, you good at it?
Oh, well, I try.
I wish I can see those, and tell me more things about you felt when you were in Korea in 1989.
Well, it was just such a wonderful experience with the people and the way the little children and the children from the school were looking after the graves because of so many. And we were able to go to Macca's grave at Kure and make our feelings felt at that special place where, and it was very, very touching for my husband. He was in tears and brought back a lot of memories, and I felt very privileged to do that with him.
Yeah. I mean, your two husbands were in Korea and they were friends to each other. That's the country that you didn't know before, but you came to know of it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I saw the beauty of it and travelled through the country and had a wonderful time.
So, now, what is Korea to you? I mean,
A very special place. As a matter of fact, the Salvation Army where I worship has a Korean church meeting there every Sunday after the Salvation Army service that I go to, and I've been to their church service a couple of times and spoke about the cross being taken back to Bowen, and I go to the Korean events. And as I said, I'm a chaplain with the RSL at Runaway Bay and the Sikh, Southeast Asian and Korea forces, I'm their padre too. When I was up on the 38th parallel,
yeah, you were there.
and walking through the pergola and down into the building where they had the meetings, I could feel the tension in the air. It was eerie. And to see the North Koreans with their binoculars checking on us coming and seeing around that table, that was something that I couldn't, and I thought of, yes, Queensland and New South Wales fighting each other.
Yeah.
You know, that's how close it is.
It is.
For the poor Korean people.
And we are still divided.
Yes.
And we are still technically at war because there has been no peace treaty.
That's right.
What would you do that? What would you do something to solve that problem? What would you do?
Tell them to get out of.
Right.
Yes, stop.
Get out of there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those North Koreans, unless you can be peaceful, put
So,
away your weapons
yeah.
and join with the Korean people in love and friendship.
And what were you thinking when you were in Korea, and especially in the 38th parallel, about your two husbands? Australian male, the boys, not all, but young boys were there to fight.
Yes, and they went for the fun of it. My husband said to me, my second husband said to me, I didn't even know where Korea was when I went. And it was just a big fun thing to go and do it. But it certainly changed his mind when he was there with, well, in the situation where I kill you or you kill me. Any wonder their minds were twisted.
So, did you go back again after that, 1989?
No.
How about
No.
Dennis?
No,
When did it die, Dennis?
Dennis died in 2002.
Oh. And what did he feel about as a Korean War veteran? What did he feel about
He was proud of his service, but he wanted to be recognised by the Australian
How?
people. He had United Nations medals, but when he was very honoured to get the Korean Peace Medal because at that time you had to go to Korea to get the Peace Medal.
Oh.
You get it now in Australia at the gardens on Kapyong Day, but in our day you had to go and receive it from the commissioner or whoever
Yeah.
it was at Korea, and he was very, very proud of his Korea medal, but he wanted an Australian medal.
Ah.
And when the Australian medal come out, that suited him fine. And he got that Australian Active Service medal.
And so he felt very good because Korea has developed so much so that...
Yes, yes. It was worth going to your aid. He felt as though the Aussie soldier had done something. But then, when he was in Korea, they took the North Koreans way back beyond the 38th parallel up, and then they made the dividing line between North and South back, and he didn't think that was right.
Yeah.
He thought that the dividing line should have been where they had sent the North Korean troops
I see.
to, as you would know, the layout of your country's land.
Let me give you this idea. The South Korea territorial size and Australia is 78 times larger here than
Yes.
South Korea.
Yes,
But that South Korea completely devastated in 1950s. Now, 11th largest economy in the world.
I know.
Better than Australia.
I know.
What do
They
you think?
should learn a lesson from the South Koreans.
What do you think?
I think that they're very, very smart people.
And your
and
two
I'm
husbands.
so glad that even though my life has had some very sad points over the years because of losing a daughter and the other one badly burnt and holds the scars today. She's a school teacher in Cairns.
School teacher? What does
School
she teach?
teacher at the college.
What does she teach?
All subjects because she's primary school. And she has not long come back from working on the islands, the Torres Strait Islands, on Murray Island, with the native people from there, and she's back working in Korea, in Cairns
Cairns?
now.
And so she's primary school teacher.
Yes,
Did she ever talk about Korean War?
yes, we've talked about her and her father.
Wow. I want to, because my foundation annually hosting big conference, and we are inviting teachers from everywhere who wants to teach about Korea and Korean War. So if your daughter interested in doing that, I can invite her.
Right, I will ask her.
How old is she?
63?
63. And is she still teaching?
Yes.
Any other people around you actually teaching history in Australian school? Do you know anybody?
No, not really well.
No. Okay.
No.
So please ask your daughter, okay?
Right.
And tell me about your Salvation Army experience. When did you join the Salvation Army?
I was taken to the Salvation Army in a pram by my mother, who had joined the Salvation Army.
Uh-huh.
And I've worked in various things. I was a captain in the Salvation Army
And
in Melbourne,
Melbourne.
yes, in Victoria.
What do they do? Tell people about what Salvation
The
Army
Salvation Army is a great social place for people to come that need help with welfare, financial, and many other problems, counselling, etc. But we are a church.
Catholic Church?
No, a Protestant church.
Protestant Church?
A Protestant church that believes in the Trinity, and mainly the basis of all Protestant churches, the way they believe that.
And are you anointed pastor of Salvation Army?
I was.
You was. You
was.
were. Uh-huh.
But because of my first husband, who resigned from that position, we were both captains in the Salvation Army down in Melbourne, but because him and his fellow see health reasons, see again, it comes out, I had to give that up.
I see. I see.
So,
But you
we
still...
are, the Salvation Army is a church, and we do worship.
I know very well, and been donating, money for Salvation Army for the Christmas. Yes. Yeah, and they are doing very good. In my hometown, Syracuse, New York, in the United States, there is a Salvation Army, and we give out our clothes and so on, so that they can help other people who are in need.
That's it.
Yeah. So you're doing very good.
I am. I'm trying.
Yeah. So looking back all those years, tragic and happy moments and so on, becoming a wife to two Korean War veterans, what is your life in terms of with relations with Korea? What do you think about your life?
Well, as far as Korea is concerned, I'm very interested in anything that comes up about Korea in the news. And would you believe I had to hurry to the hotel with the stones that were being thrown and when we were there, and the gas.
In Korea?
In Korea.
Because of student demonstration?
Because of student demonstration outside the hotel where I was staying.
Yeah.
So I think of that and think how funny, when you look back, it was to see us from the bus
And you said,
pulled up down the road.
but you said it was 1989, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how we got our society democratized. We were under the military dictatorship, which drove all the industrialization, very successful industrialization, so that we are becoming economic power. But they were military dictators, so that students stood up against them, And that's how we got simultaneous democratization.
Good. You're doing well.
But you know
I
what?
love it.
But we don't teach about these things here. Not in the United States, not in Greece, not in South Africa, not in any country that participated in the Korean
Yes,
War. Why
and-
we don't teach about it?
Well, I say to people, don't forget that Kapyong Day is the day before Anzac Day, and nearly everybody you speak to will say, I didn't know that.
When is Gapyeong Day? Do you know?
24th of April, and I am there at the Cascade Gardens doing my part in the service and laying a wreath on behalf of the Salvation Army. And I'll continue to do that until my dying day.
See, you are the ambassador now
I am,
of the Korean War veterans.
yes,
Even though you never fought, but you are the ambassador, right?
yes,
Yes, so you have to keep up good works
yes,
for Korea.
yes.
And we'll remember you as a Korean ambassador.
I will be a Korean ambassador because I talk to the Korean people.
Do you know many Korean people here?
I know a fair amount because the Korean people put on a special day on the 24th for the Korean vets. And on their July date, 6th and 7th of July, in that time. And I am very, very privileged to be included and feel as though my contribution to the Korean people.
When did Neville die?
Oh, now you're asking me. It was about 10 years ago, I'd say. I can get the exact date.
No. I want to remember these two Australian young boys,
Yes,
Neville and Dennis, who were in the Korean War and fought for us. And I want to thank them. I want to thank them and for their sufferings, honorable service, and the life after that. And you are the witness of that. That's why
I
you are
am.
talking to me now.
I am Dr. Hunt.
What
Yes.
would you say to your first husband to now, while you are doing interview with me?
I would say to him that, yes, he put his life on the line for the Korean people, and I wished I'd have been able to help him more so that he didn't have this, lying life that he lived.
What about to Dennis? What would you say to them?
Good
to
on
him?
you, mate.
Huh?
Good on you, mate.
Ah.
Why did you leave me?
No. So that you can see him there.
Yes.
Yeah. We are all numbered. So,
Yes.
yeah.
He dropped dead, Dennis, on the veranda of the home that I live in now.
Oh.
And I just remember him every day and the suddenness of his death.
See, these two countries never really related to each other before the Korean War. Not much, right? Australia
That's right.
and the Korea. Now I think we are one of the strongest allies to each other.
That's right.
And we trade each other. There are
Yes.
many Korean people here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that Korea became a great part of Australia. You know, the peninsula that sticks out the top of Australia. And you're part of us.
Great to know that. Great to know that. And I'm great to be here in Australia for the first time in my life. And it's my luck to meet you, to be able to hear from you. say something to Korean people for the occasion of 70th anniversary of the Korean War, where your two husbands fought. Say something to the Korean people for the commemoration.
It was a privilege to me, even though life was hard, to have two Korean veterans to look after, to care for, and to hear their stories about Korea, mainly happy stories. I pray that God will bless you, Korean people, and give you courage as you face the North and stand for the principle of peace, love and care in your country. And I'll always remember it with fond memories because of the association I have, and I pray that I will be a blessing to other Korean people, and God bless you all.
Wow, it's amazing, Noma. I don't know if I missed you here or what would be my last interview on today.
Yes.
It's amazing, Noma.
And here I was waiting for you down at Cascade Gardens.
Hey, give me 5. Great to meet you, sir. Meet you. Thank you.
Yes.